Remember the launch of the Jackson 5.
For some of the young acts taking part tonight, who, I mean, we've talked about the established artists and some of the elders, but there are younger people involved. Most of Michael Jackson's fans are so young. It's amazing for an artist who spans 4 decades. How would it feel for them, do you think?
For them, it is a different kind of emotion. They've lost their role model. They haven't lost the great musical star, which the fans from the 60s and 70s and 80s have. They have lost someone who gave them inspiration. For someone like Justin Timberlake, Michael is the role model figure. By being the first male star of the video era, Michael ensured that future generations would be dancers and not instrumental virtuosi. And so we have a generation of Justin Timberlakes and not a generation of Eric Claptons. And Michael, more than anyone else, is responsible for that.
Obviously, the last 10 days has seen an incredible increase in Michael Jackson's sales. He's sold millions around the world. And there's all this unreleased material that we always know about. He famously recorded 40 songs for one album and didn't release it. I mean, where is all this material, and can you see it emerging in the future?
This will definitely emerge in the future, just as there have been Elvis releases until this very day. Callously, Colonel Tom Parker famously said on the day of Elvis Presley's death, "This changes nothing." And Michael Jackson's dad said 3 days after his death, "He's bigger than ever." People who are interested in the business side of things will be looking forward to Christmas, because Michael Jackson sales will once again go through the roof. There will be something coming out at that time, I am sure.
Paul, it sounds like it's about to start. People are applauding, yeah. As I said, really we didn't expect this to go on schedule at all. I mean, it's been a hurried event.
Trevor, it's a good thing we get along. We're going to be talking to each other a lot.
Yeah.
These are the...
Okay, the family are inside, ready to take their seats. It must be, for the fans, unbelievable to be there.
Well, especially because they are the lucky ones. They are the ones who won by lot. It was done by computer. And they had many times the number of applicants that could fill the hall. And thousands of those people are on the outside now, wishing they were on the inside. And some movie theaters are showing this. Just down the street, there's another theater which shows 6,500 people, the screen showing that we're seeing right now. And there are 50 cinemas in the United States that are showing this for free.
But they have cordoned off the area for 10 blocks at least, and that
Yes.
must be, for fans who have made a pilgrimage from around the world, they must be very disappointed they can't get closer to the Staples
Yes, and
Centre.
these are concrete blockages, so there's no way that you can easily cut through or dip under them. That's because Los Angeles has been very afraid that it would grind to a halt today. However, it's also happy because they feel that all of these people are bringing $4 million into the city's economy at a time when, as we all know, California is really having a difficult time and has started issuing IOUs. My favorite story about the tickets is that one young man from Buffalo, New York, flew to Los Angeles, won a pair of tickets in the lottery, and gave the other one to a woman who had come over from Switzerland and not won. But they had a few drinks, and now they're sharing those 2 tickets together.
Why are Michael Jackson fans so fanatical and so loyal? I mean, you know, over the years, we've all had debates with Michael Jackson fans about his music, about the way he lived his life, but they are absolutely determined that he is untouchable and that he is, you know, he's the king of pop. They've always maintained that he's done nothing but good, and they've proven it by going to LA in their droves, flying over, spending vast amounts of money, and they haven't even got a seat for the memorial.
These are mostly people who became fans in the last 20 years. So they didn't have Michael at his peak, but they had his videos. And they also had his projection of himself. And they have tended to accept that. He is the Peter Pan of pop. He is the king of pop, which, after all, he appointed himself. they believe he is all good, as in Heal the World and Earth Song and Childhood. And they don't really want to look behind that projection at the 50-year-old man. They want to look at that endlessly youthful fellow who danced through Billie Jean and Thriller. They want to love those records, and they want to think that he is the symbol of goodness in our time. A lot of people who like the old Michael Jackson will find this really hard to accept. They find it naive. A lot of people who aren't interested in pop music at all thinks this is truly sad that people would buy the act like this. But that doesn't mean that it isn't a genuine feeling. There are millions of people who are deeply distraught by this because they have lost someone who they felt was important in their personal life. And this is a first, because no great pop star who previously died, whether it be Elvis or John Lennon or going back to the 60s, Judy Garland, had people think they were a part of their personal lives. There was a distance. But in this era of the celebrity culture, and with Michael voluntarily projecting himself as a personality in this way, there was more of a feeling of a personal connection, and that is why you have millions of people sobbing.
Now, I remember the passing of Elvis Presley. I was a little kid. I didn't understand before. I remember everybody going around the TV, looking at the news, people sobbing, immediate vigils and stuff like that. I didn't get it at the time. Obviously, as I grew up and became older, I understood. This is way bigger than Elvis, isn't it?
It is bigger than Elvis for a couple of reasons, and one is that Michael was the first male star of the video age, and those visual images went around the planet, and there were places where he never visited, that he was seen frequently, and people thought they knew him in a way that they never thought they knew Elvis or the Beatles, because they didn't get the continuous visual reinforcement of that artist. Yes, you know, we do get remembrances of what artists mean to people, but not like this.
Paul, we believe Michael Jackson's casket will be coming out very soon, followed by his brothers. This is delay at the moment. It will be a truly moving moment. To think that people will be on stage and Michael Jackson's body will be up there as well. I didn't expect that.
Most people did not expect that until today. Most people did not think they would bring the body to the Staples Center. They weren't even sure it was going to be buried at Forest Lawn, where the funeral service was. But, yes, it was at Forest Lawn, and it is going to be here. The body of Michael Jackson will be here. I would have thought that for a couple of the artists scheduled to be here tonight, this would just be too emotional. I'm thinking of Jennifer Hudson, who
had the tragedy of her family. A couple of members of her family died. Even someone like Usher, who's very young, and Michael Jackson influenced him greatly. I find it quite amazing. I think it may be for public safety that they didn't say they were going to do that, unless it was a last-minute decision. Imagine the thousands of fans around LA hearing that his body was going to be brought to the Staples Center. There'd be a crush to see him.
I do believe that that is the main reason why it was not announced, that they did not want to encourage thousands of more people to flock down here. It is going to be here.
By the way, if you are tuning into this expecting to see the memorial service, it has been delayed. We have no control over what's happening in Los Angeles, obviously, and this is a hurried event. It's in memory of Michael Jackson, obviously. There's an A-list superstar lineup waiting to come and pay their respects, but the body has been brought into the Staples Center. We hear that Michael Jackson's brothers are going to emerge on stage with his body, which is incredible, really. I didn't expect that at all. I'm not sure if everybody who's attending knew that was going to happen either.
This is the last reunion of the Jackson brothers, and no one expected it to occur.
Now, as a family, historically, it's been, you've had LaToya Jackson breaking away from the family, you've had Joe Jackson, who obviously ruled the family with an iron fist. It's legendary how he controlled his sons and gave them the discipline to become pop stars. Some say over-discipline, obviously. You know, it's tabloid legend. We will never really know what went on there. But how do you think, as a family unit, they'll be grieving Michael Jackson? I mean, they seem to have come together pretty strongly. And
The Jackson family has an unspoken agreement that in difficult moments they always come together and they present a public show of unity. They don't want to do anything which would detract from the image of those who are the artists. And for Michael's sake, they are projecting a sense of unity. However, we know that when the will was read, the father was not present. That's because he's not in the will. The other members of the family applauded when the will had been read.